Today is day one. We finally have figured out how to fix your overthinking. You just can't get there by accident.
I want to know the difference between a dreamer and an overthinker. That they could stop being an overthinker right now, right after watching this video.
If I call any random person out there an alien, do you think they'll get offended? That one ray of hope that they thought will be the answer to all their problems?
Do people really ask people's advice when they have 100% conviction of what they want to do?
Different from personalities, right? There are people who ask for some form of confirmation. They are 100% sure, but they just want another person to say, hey, you know what? Let's do it.
So will it not change nothing? Will it change a
They
thing?
might be very clear. Very simple question for that is when, let's not bring genders into this. In a marriage, when one person's asking the other, hey, listen, I have this red attire to wear or a blue attire to wear. What do you think I should wear? They probably have an answer in their head. And you would have said blue, but they say, yeah, blue, okay. But what do you think about the red one? What do you think? Is it good? No, is it really the blue, or the other person realizes, okay, hang on, the other one's good too. Ah, really? Yeah. Shall I wear that? Yeah. Okay, let me go with that. When you ask people an opinion, there are certain personalities who want them to say what you want them to say. Then there are certain personalities who ask them a question because they clearly know what the answer is, but they just want another person to validate it and saying, hey, you are right. And then there are others who want to go ahead with something, but they are overthinkers and they just want to find reasons or someone to blame for their mishaps. So they ask, hey, I have this business plan. I want to start this restaurant. What do you think? I don't know, man. I don't know if it's the right time to start it. Yeah, I think you're right. 10 years down the lane, someone's asking, so you never wanted to open a restaurant since you're so great in culinary arts? I wanted to, but I was talking to my friend and he said it's not a good idea. So that was the reason. But I think if I had started back then, I would have been really good at it. I would have had the best restaurant in town now. But just because he said so, because you want to blame someone else, right? You just can't blame yourself, and you want to blame someone else for your mishap.
I want to know the difference between a dreamer and an overthinker.
One of the things that an overthinker does is, if you had asked this question to an overthinker, he would sit there and he would think, what am I? Am I an overthinker? Am I a dreamer? What could it be? And he would go down, start Googling what a dreamer is, what an overthinker is. He would spend the next 1 month researching on this. So if there's an overthinker listening to us right now, I don't even think he or she should be thinking about if they're a dreamer or an overthinker. Just go out there and do what you gotta do. Just don't wait. Someone
Who
who
is a
just
dreamer? Who would you call a dreamer?
could be someone who dreams and makes things happen, or dreams and just overthinks and never makes it happen. If the ones who dream about it and they end up doing nothing because they overthink. Or it could also be that they never had the intention to do it anyways. Like I said earlier, they are the ones who just want to talk about how they wanted to do something, and then they want to blame someone, mention that being the reason why they couldn't do it.
And as much as I want us to dig deeper in this conversation, I would also like for you to tell the overthinkers out there, I don't know if I'm like quoting you wrong, they will never change. Is there a possibility, like let's say 1 out of 100, or let's say 0.99 out of 100 chance that they could stop being an overthinker right now, right after watching this video, and turn into someone who can just choose between left and right and not having to think too long? Left is the right way to go, and right is where your comfort zone is. Just taking the left and then not having to think too hard and too much about it.
I don't think there is any video, any book that can help you change things overnight. And I don't think people should even be thinking that there is a video out there that can help them change. There's a book out there that could change them. Well, there are people who watch a video, read a book, and they say, that's it. My life's been fixed. I have figured out how to fix it. And they feel like they have found out that one tablet that'll fix all their problems. And then they rely on this. And then they have this feeling that my life's been fixed. A week or two later, they realize that that hasn't fixed them. That puts them in deep misery. That one ray of hope that they thought will be the answer to all their problems That's not.
I'm trying to understand, like I get what you're saying, and I totally agree with you. I just want to know a lot of people are struggling with overthinking. They might not know. Like, at what point in your life do you realize you're an overthinker?
See, if someone's calling you an overthinker, and if you get offended by that, you're definitely an overthinker. Do you know why that is? If I call any random person out there arrogant, do you think they would get offended?
Unless if they are,
If I call any random person out there an alien, do you think they'll get offended?
they will not.
The reason for that is because they clearly know that they're not one. When you call a
Hmm.
person arrogant, when you call a person selfish, if they get offended, the reason for that is because they're not 100% sure if they are or not.
Should I just politely disagree or just disagree,
Because
yeah? Like
why
on a
would you even have
defense
to
mode?
disagree? Because that's just the person's opinion. It's okay for people to have their opinion. Let them say what they want to say. There's nothing wrong in that. Earlier, you asked, how would an overthinker stop being an overthinker? The sad truth about that is, an overthinker, when he's at a junction, he would have a confusion, right? Left or right. In order to stop that, he would have to make a decision and go left. If we were to tell him, stop being an overthinker, he'll have to stop overthinking. The overthinker in him would not be able to stop overthinking. So it's a loop that you're in. The only way to do it is just break it. If you're a smoker, you can't say, you know what, I was smoking 20, I think I'm going to cut it down to 10. Just stop it. You're a smoker. You want to stop it? Stop it. Most things in life work that way. No one's going to hand it over to you in a silver platter. Nothing is going to be given to you in life. As a kid, everything is going to be given to you. As a tiny kid, your parents pamper you. You're the whole world for them. You get out in the real world, nobody really cares. You want to do something, you just got to do it. How do you differentiate between standing up for yourself and letting things go? Someone calls you a mean person, you say, I understand that's your opinion. Versus, how do you know how to do it? As someone who's new to this concept, how do you do that?
That's exactly what I wanted us to talk about.
It also depends on where you want to draw the line. If a person saying you're a very mean person, you say, yeah, I understand that's your opinion. I appreciate you sharing that information. There are moments where you have to stand up for yourself. If someone's saying, I really hope and pray that all horrible things happen to you, and you say, and if that person's a random stranger, you're like, that's all right. If that person happens to be someone you deal with on a regular basis, you know that you don't care about it. But at the same time, you don't want that negativity in your life. You don't want this person to sit here and say this over and over again every day. Because if you don't stand up for yourself, no one's going to stand up for yourself. You're the only one who's going to do that for yourself. For that is a moment where you have to stand up and say, hey, what makes you think you have the right to talk to me like that? So one needs to differentiate between letting people say what they want to because it really doesn't care and I'm not going to give people any relevance. But at the same time, for you to stand up for yourself. When do you have to do which? That you would only know based on your situation, based on the people that you interact with. Is that a close friend? Is that a stranger? So it's really hard to have a blueprint to it saying, if this happens, you do this. If that happens, you do that. That's where your instincts come into play. That's where your experience comes into play.
Would it not be considered arrogant? A lot of people, when you do something that doesn't align with what they expect your response to be, like we've been friends for so long, but I respect you to the extent that there are some things we don't talk about. That's boundaries. A lot of people don't know where to pump the brakes.
Let's say you and I are in a car and we're driving. And I'm driving towards a signal and there's a car there and I'm at 100 kilometer per hour and I'm not slowing down. You can see I'm not slowing down. You clearly realize that I don't know when to hit the brakes. What are you going to do? I'm pretty sure you're going to go and you're just going to pull the
Pull the
handbrakes.
hand lever, of course, I'm gonna do that.
So if people around you don't respect your boundary, you draw the line, you tell them, hey, this is where the line is, hit the brakes. Because if you don't, then I'm going to make sure that I hit it.
They call it arrogant, or some say you have attitude issues.
It goes to the previous conversation that we're talking about, where if they call you arrogant, does that make you arrogant though?
It doesn't.
You hit the brakes because they're not hitting the brakes, and they say, that was very arrogant of you to do that. You say, yeah, I know, I understand. Completely valid for you to call me arrogant. But does that make you arrogant? See, what I'm going to say is probably not going to be perceived well by anybody. Overthinkers do have a habit of blaming it on their mental condition. They have a habit of saying, this is how I am. This is a mental condition. I'm depressed. I'm not saying anything against people who have medical issues. Don't blame everything on it, please. Don't blame your shortcomings on medical science. I understand that's the easiest way to do it. Just don't do it. Because there are people who out there who really need help. You are making a mockery out of people who are actually going through medical issues. You happen to be an overthinker because you're scared to make decisions. You're scared to do something in life, and that makes you an overthinker. And then, when asked why you're an overthinker, if you are to blame the society on it, you are to blame medical science for it, your emotions for it, it's your inability to make decisions in life. When you get to a point where you are not able to say, you know what, I'm in this crossroad in life and I know I have to, when it turns green, I have to hit the gas and go because everyone's running for it. Or you can wait till everyone goes and then you can say, I can't believe that I don't have the ability to go. I'm not able to go forward and just, I want to, but my brain doesn't let me do it. And I hope someday it fixes. I mean, you just have to do it. Just hit the gas and do it. And if you're scared about it, then don't do it. But don't blame the whole world for it. Don't blame medical science for it. So you have no condition. Maybe there are people who have, but majority out there don't. So don't make mockery out of it, is what I'm saying.
There might be people that are overthinkers and are actually listening to this. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be skipping through the video to get to a part where you would say, today is day one.
Today is day one. We finally have figured out how to fix your overthinking. There is none. Hard work over and over again every single day that gets you to excellence. You just can't get there by accident.
I think it's best that we pump on the brakes now. We've, yeah, and call it a,
So I'm glad you know where to hit the brakes.
yeah, I am. Yes, sir. It's a good one.